This is the forgotten story of Den Fujita, an ambitious entrepreneur who spent his life introducing global brands and products to Japan. You may not know much about Den Fujita right now, but you probably know of Masayoshi-san, who is worth over $20 billion today and is famous for founding SoftBank. But when Masayoshi-san was only 16 years old, his idol wasn't a leading tech founder. It was the man who brought McDonald's to Japan.
Why were you interested in being the head of McDonald's? Did you like McDonald's food, or what was it?
No, he wrote a book, and that book became the bestseller. I was so impressed and said, oh my God, this is great. And the guy who wrote about it must be great.
So,
in a nutshell, Den Fujita shunned traditional career paths and built his first company while still a law student. Despite losing family members in World War II, he didn't hesitate to look to the West for ideas and trading opportunities. Eventually, he leveraged his unique experience to become McDonald's partner in Japan when the restaurant chain's international business was still in its infancy. After making key changes to the McDonald's model, he built it into the country's largest restaurant chain. Overall, it's a pretty interesting ride, but the fun is in the fine print. So let me tell the full story of Den Fujita. Fujita was born in 1926 and grew up in Osaka. His father worked as an electrical engineer at a British company, so Fujita was lucky enough to be brought up bilingual. His father was also an outspoken critic of the war and renounced the emperor's divinity, which was a pretty contrarian view at the time. Because of this, Fujita's father was under constant observation by the military police. During World War II, 1/3 of Osaka was destroyed from bombing raids, and Fujita lost both his father and 2 sisters. After the war, his mother, who was a Methodist, built a church for her congregation. Den later said of this, "If a woman could do this, I felt that with a strong will, I could do anything." Fujita later attended law school at the University of Tokyo, one of the country's most prestigious universities. While still a student, using his English skills, he started working as an interpreter for the American occupation forces at the General Headquarters in Tokyo. And perhaps using contacts gained at General Headquarters, he started his own company, Fujita & Co., to import foreign goods. Fujita said that post-war Japan was lagging far behind Western countries both culturally and materially. Originally importing golf clubs and floor-sheen shoes, he switched products when he decided that women were a better target for Western imports since they reorder every time the winds of fashion shift. Overall, apparently he earned enough to pay for his college tuition from the trading business. After graduating in 1951, rather than pursuing a career in the government or at a large corporation like many of his classmates, he started working full-time on his business. Eventually, he would shift his focus to high-end fashion brands, and he became the leading importer and wholesaler of handbags, suitcases, and clothing from brands such as Christian Dior and Longchamp. At one point, he was the exclusive importer for Dior in Japan and the largest commercial buyer of Dior handbags globally. His client network among Japan's department stores would become invaluable later on. Fast forward to 1970, and Fujita was an established businessman riding the wave of Japan's growing prosperity. During his travels to the US, he had eaten at McDonald's restaurants as early as 1967 and had enjoyed the experience. When his trading representative in Chicago told him that the company intended to expand internationally, he was immediately interested and arranged a meeting with McDonald's management. At this point in time, McDonald's had more than 1,000 restaurants in the US, but the company was not the global behemoth that we know today, and their international expansion had barely started. The first international locations in Canada and the Netherlands were lackluster, to say the least. The Canadian territory had been licensed out of 2 entrepreneurs in 1967, but McDonald's eventually bought the rights back and 43 unprofitable locations for $6 million in 1970. And in the Netherlands, McDonald's had partnered with Albert Heijn, the local leading supermarket chain. A former management consultant, rather than an owner-operator, was put in charge. And like in the US, the restaurants were being opened in the suburbs. However, European cities had not seen the same suburban flight and decay of downtown commercial activity as their American counterparts. The Dutch operation struggled and would lose money for years. After these initial missteps, McDonald's vowed to follow its proven model, combining the McDonald's system with the enthusiasm of hands-on local operators. When evaluating potential partners in Japan, Fujita stood out among a lineup of corporations. While he didn't have a large organisation or as much capital as the others, he had experience with global consumer brands and the Japanese consumer taste. And because of his import business, he was competent in navigating Japan's bureaucracy. Lastly, and most importantly, he could offer his full commitment and passion for the business. James Cantalupo, president of McDonald's International, said, "The truth is that when we came here, there were not a lot of people who could maneuver through the bureaucracy. He really knew how to do that. His rare quality is that he can bridge two cultures." As Fujita himself put it, "I told Croc-san I was only interested if it was a 50-50 joint venture with a Japanese president. He replied that his only condition was that we succeeded, so we went ahead." The McDonald's Japan joint venture was set up with McDonald's owning 50% and Fujita and Daiichi Baking Company each owning 25%. McDonald's invested $150,000, with Fujita and the bakery contributing $37,500 each. Reportedly, Fujita later bought out the bakery's share. So if you put yourself in Fujita's shoes, this is both a moment of tremendous opportunity and risk. On one hand, Fujita succeeded in getting control and meaningful ownership in his partnership with a major American brand. On the other hand, their track record in international expansion had been pretty poor. There was certainly no blueprint for success like you might find today. Cultural differences were another worry. At the time, people doubted that Japanese customers would be interested in eating hamburgers, let alone eating hamburgers and fries with their hands. And here is how Fujita described the cultural sentiment at the time. "All Japanese have an inferiority complex about anything that is foreign, because everything in our culture has come from the outside. Our writing comes from China, our Buddhism from Korea, and after the war, everything new, from Coca-Cola to IBM, came from America." Fujita concluded that the company had to look 100% Japanese. This was not a luxury fashion brand that upscale consumers were longing for. He would offer the McDonald's experience without suggesting that it was an American brand. He changed the English names to make them easier to pronounce. McDonald's became McDonald, and Ronald McDonald became Donald McDonald. Later, he would also alter the menu to incorporate local favourites. Years later, Fujita would tell an anecdote to demonstrate the success of his approach. A group of Japanese Boy Scouts were visiting the US and were interviewed by a local TV station, with one of the boys caught saying, "I didn't know they had a McDonald's in the USA too." Perhaps Fujita's most important decision was to change McDonald's real estate strategy. In the US, McDonald's had become successful during a period of explosive growth in the suburbs, their stores catering to customers arriving by car. Fujita was convinced that this was the wrong approach to Japan. He believed that the restaurant would be most attractive to a younger and more urban customer base who were open to new ideas and tastes. He remembers having a big argument over the locations, but stubbornly declined to follow the American blueprint. "The eating habits of older Japanese are very conservative, but we could teach the children that the hamburger was something good." So where would the initial location be? Not only did he want his first store to be in a city, no, it had to be in the heart of commercial activity in all of Japan. It had to be Ginza, Tokyo's most famous upmarket shopping, dining, and entertainment district. I figured that American tourists eating hamburgers in Ginza would be an eye-catcher. Japanese seeing that would think, Americans are eating it, it must be good. So just to reiterate here, an American brand pretending to be Japanese, attracting Americans to convince Japanese that it's good. Still following? But thanks to his import business, he had a network of contacts in the world of retail. Fujita found a partner in Mitsukoshi, Japan's largest and oldest department store, with roots dating back to 1673. He was able to get a tiny 500 square feet ground floor space in their Ginza branch. The spot was located, and we're coming full circle here, by the Purse department. "Mr. Fujita, where's the store?" Prime location? Sorted. Constructing the layout? Not so sorted. Not only was the space much smaller than a typical McDonald's restaurant, Mitsukoshi was not going to let construction activity affect their regular business. The store gave Fujita 1 day and 2 nights to build his restaurant. For this, they picked a national holiday so that no business would be lost. Monday, July 19, 1971 was Marine Day in Japan, so Fujita had from 6 p.m. on Sunday to 9 a.m. Tuesday, just 39 hours, to build out an entire restaurant. For the first time, mind you. The pressure would have been immense. Here was the opportunity of a lifetime, and he was so close to making it a reality. But turning his vision of an urban McDonald's into reality would require a massive effort and unwavering conviction. On July 17, 1971, a few days before the planned opening, various McDonald's executives, including Ray Kroc, arrived in Japan. Fujita proudly took them to the Ginza location. One of the men turned to Fujita, "But where's the store? Mr. Fujita, grand opening is the day after tomorrow." Fujita just said, "Ah, Mr. Strong, we will do it." Strong told Ray Kroc, "We're in big trouble. We're opening in 2 days and nothing is there." Fujita had rented a warehouse where he had the McDonald's restaurant redesigned to fit the smaller space, with a more compact kitchen, stand-up counters, and no seating. Next, he brought a crew of 70 construction workers and engineers to the warehouse. They had developed a detailed assembly schedule and started practicing the process from start to finish. After 3 trial runs, the crew had figured it out how to get the time down to just 36 hours. And on the 20th of July 1971, the first McDonald's restaurant opened in Japan. Despite zero advertising, the restaurant was an immediate hit. Within a few months, the store set a McDonald's record for one-day sales at the time. McDonald's president and chief admin officer at the time was Fred Turner. This is Fred, by the way. And can I just say, imagine being a CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company, yet even you have to suck it up and cop a hug from an actor in clown makeup. I can just feel the pain. Anyway, Fred said, "Japan was really the acid test. After that, we realized that the American menu could fly abroad." Fujita didn't mess around. The second store opened 3 days later near a major Shinjuku train station in Tokyo. Another store opened the following day after that. At McDonald's Japan headquarters, Fujita assembled a team of 20 people to carry out the most aggressive expansion program of any McDonald's operation. He had even started the Hamburger University, the store manager training program, before the first store had even opened. All up, from 1971 until 1999, McDonald's Japan opened 3,000 locations. For those wondering, that's 2 openings per week for 28 years. Later, Fujita would make menu changes and expand to the suburbs, illustrating that he remained flexible after his initial success. After adding rice dishes, he said, "I realized that I didn't have to change the whole strategy, just alter the menu. If that's where business is promising, I'll try it." Today, McDonald's Japan has an iconic menu that generates free publicity for itself. It wasn't all sunshine and roses though for the American executives at McDonald's. Fujita's decisions sometimes baffled the Americans. One time, Turner visited a restaurant and found it decorated with pictures of bikers that reminded him of the Hells Angels. Stunned as a mullet, and fair enough, because McDonald's was a family restaurant. Fujita explained, "This is very Western, and young Japanese people like Western." But Turner didn't like what the images were projecting. "Den-san, we are not a hangout place. This looks like a motorcycle gang hangout." Fujita just responded, "No problem, Turner-san. Japanese people don't understand the fine points." But sometimes, the cultural differences worked in Fujita-san's favour. Turner described the grill operation in the US. "We've been trying to get 28,000 grill persons to lay the first row of patties 4 inches from the left of the grill, closer to the heating element. But in the US, with our Yankee mentality, you watch these grill men and they don't give a damn what the system says, because they've got a better way." But in Japan, however, employees followed the manual to a T. In Japan, you tell a grill man only once how to lay the patties, and he puts them there every time. Overall, McDonald's thrived on a combination of its system with the local operators' initiative. From then on, executives would have to take these cultural traits into consideration when writing instructions. In Turner's own words, "I'd been looking for 100% compliance for 30 years, and now that I finally found it in Japan, it made me very nervous." Fujita became a relentless promoter of McDonald's, making TV appearances and regularly visiting the stores. He was prone to some fairly wacky statements though. "The Japanese are very hardworking, but very weak, very small, and our faces are so pale. I thought we had to strengthen ourselves. That's when I thought of beef." He could be quite funny, like when McDonald's Japan went public. "If you are a human being, please have this very tasty hamburger at least once a day." His personal life was described as quiet and understated. He had married his high school sweetheart and lived in an upscale Tokyo suburb. He wore a $6 Casio watch and wasn't a fan of playing golf like many of his rich counterparts. His 2 sons joined the Fujita & Co. family business later on. Overall, Den Fujita was a bit of a trailblazer. And he embodies a lot of what I want to do. Borrow ideas from many different places, execute them fast and efficiently, and have a ton of fun doing it. Again, many thanks to Frederick from Insecurity Analysis for allowing me to make a video on his original Substack post of Den Fujita. Links will all be in the description. But overall, cheers for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. But until next time, have a good one.